Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Before starting my video, if you didn't subscribe my channel yet, please do, and do not forget to turn on notifications as I'm sharing great contents for you all the time. Alright, previously we completed our Docker Compose migration things and how we able to build our project. Everything is completed. In this lesson we will continue with the creating our controller. I know we didn't create our behaviors and caching section for application, but before creating those I would like to finalize our endpoints and we can continue with the thing is I'm trying to tell you we can test when we add our logics straight away. Okay, first of all I'm gonna do some small fixes. We left it's just left our previous lesson. As you can see, we added emailing services, but we didn't add it in our infrastructure. So I'm going to create quickly a new folder, which is going to be services. I guess we already created. For test purposes, I added this folder. I guess let me have a look. You can use this icon to reveal all folders. As you can see, we have a services folder here. I'm going to right click on it and include in project, and you know how we can add our hidden or excluded objects into our project. So if you didn't create your services folder, just create a services and emailing folders and right click on email, add new class, email service. So we're going to fill our body of our email services. Let's make a public class and email service. We need to add project reference of application to our infrastructure assembly. Project reference, this is the application. Okay, perfect. Let's implement the interface. Perfect. As I told you before, it's going to be a just dummy service, so I'm just adding service and doing nothing basically, but you can add any type of third-party implementations as you want. I'm just showing you how can you implement in our system, but I'm not actually doing this. If you would like to how we can send email, you can go back my .NET 7 MVC project. I did a detailed emailing service on that section, on that video series. Alright, let's continue. All we need to do, add this service in our service register. So we have ADI container services here. Let's add services dot add scoped email service, comma email service. Perfect. It's completed now. Let's continue to our endpoints. Right. Oops. Let's close this. Right click on controller, add any folder, version 1. So I'm going to show you how we're going to versionize our project. So I guess I already created another folder which is called version 1. So I'm just gonna bring it again. So let me have a look. Oh, it seems, yeah, here we go. I'm gonna add this in my project. Again, right click on it, include in the project. Perfect. So create a version 1 folder and create a customers folder. Now I'm going to create a new endpoint, a new controller for customers controller. Perfect. Let's use the control RG, put some spaces. Perfect. How we able to consume our methods located in application and feature folders? As you can see, we need to consume those commands and queries, right? All we need to do is inject an interface comes from mediator sender. Yeah. And we're going to use a method located in this interface which is named send. We're going to send our query to the application assembly. Perfect. Let's create our, it's not gonna be, yeah, yes, make it async task action result, create customer async. So our DTO, if you remember, create customer DTO, we created in our domain section. So this is going to be request come from our user, use your curly brackets, and all we need to do is make a request using sender. So we're going to get a response, sender dot send. It is asking us an object and cancellation token. If you want, you can add a cancellation token. Yeah, we can add a cancellation. Let me have a look. Do we have any? Yeah, okay. Let's add our command now. Create customer command, and it is asking us a create customer DTO. So I'm just going to send the request and it will be all completed. So as a return value, we are receiving a result customer response as we designed. Perfect. And also we can send a cancellation token. So let me have a look. Should I add a cancellation token here? Cancellation token default. Yep. Perfect. Then we can use this cancellation token here as well. Perfect. All completed. So we created our endpoint. All we need to do is create our return type. So we have a response, and this response can have a successful result or failed result. So to do that, I'm going to use is not successful and return, let's say I'm just returning random result because I'm going to define what we're gonna do. Let's say return bad request with error message, for example. Yeah, and if it's okay, we are returning response dot data. We're returning the data, which is directly, it's going to be the customer response. We're going to be returning the customer response to the customer, to the user. Perfect. But we're going to each time we create an endpoint, we shouldn't do this logic. We're going to create our own customized action method, which is going to be non-action one, and we will able to make the things much more quicker and clean. Now I'm going to create a new base controller, and we're going to consume that base controller for all of our endpoints. So it's going to be a shared one. So I'm going to go to parent folder of controller. I'm going to create a new API controller here, and I'm gonna give a name which is going to be base controller. Perfect. Let's make a control RG. I'm gonna delete the root as this is going to be non-action controller. Sorry, non-controller controller, and we are integrating from controller base again because we're going to use this interface. Let's create our public action result and create result, and it is going to be a generic one, requires a TDTO, and I'm going to show you why we're requiring TDTO, because our result requires always a TDTO. And this TDTO is going to be, if you remember, an I result. TDTO is I result. I guess we have a problem here. Let me have a look. So we have an ambitious reference between the I result, which is ours, and the HTTP I result. So I'm going to define a special naming for this namespace. So this is our namespace. Let's say abstraction equal. So I can use that naming for my this type of namespaces. Let's Control C and Control V dot. So ambitious is gone for this result. As you can see, this result is belong to my namespace anymore. Yeah, and let's do the same thing for here. Perfect, it's all done. Let's open our brackets. Perfect. Actually, should I do this for that one? Yep, let's do it. Okay, let's use a vertical design. Perfect. Now we have a create result here. So how are we going to use this one? Let's save everything, get back to here, and let's remove all the logic we created, and let's implement our new controller, base controller. And do not worry about it, because the base controller also inherit from controller base. So the controller base came through this to my controller by base controller. Perfect. Now we can return create result. We just created this method, and to return it is asking us a return type, but we are giving the return type here, so you don't need to give any return DTO type. So all you need to do is open your brackets and return your response. That's it. And this method will manipulate the result. Let's get back our base controller now. So we have our result in our hands. All we need to do is create a logic. I'm gonna delete this brackets because I'm gonna make it in just one go. Result dot status code. If it's how can I say, the result status code, if it's 204, I mean if it's update or delete operation, I'm going to use a ternary operation. I want my result to be a new object result, and it is going to be, it is asking a value for us, but it can be null, but I'm going to pass a null because we don't have any data to show our users if it is an update or delete. Yeah, and the status code is going to be 204. Perfect. Or you can just type result dot status code as well, but this is going to be 204 because we're checking the status code here. Okay, what if it's not? Let's put that question mark here. I think it's going to be better visual for understanding the code. If it's not 204, so we are returning an object. It means we are returning an object. So let's create a new object result. So it's going to be object result, and we are returning data result dot data. Yep, this is the DTO itself. We are just returning the DTO, and the status code is going to be the result status code. If it's 201, it's going to be 201. If it is 200, it's going to be 200. It is just auto calculating the result by status code and returning the object result perfectly. I'm just thinking if actually I'm not gonna return result data, I'm just returning the result itself because it can be an error or it can be a data. Perfect. It seems alright, but another thing left in result. Our result, let me have a look. Our result, we're returning TDTO status code error or and is not successful, but I'm using this is not successful in our project, but I don't want it to be seen by the customer, by the user. So I'm gonna add ignore JSON ignore attribute, so this section won't be seen by the final result in our system. Yeah, perfect. Let's save everything and close the result now. And I'm assuming this section is being understood. Let's close here. Perfect. So create customer async has been created. But do not forget add HTTP post, because this is a post request. Anything missed? Let me have a quick look. So we have a root API controller. We have everything here. So we're using REST API for now. If it's needed, we can give different routing naming, but I'm assuming it won't be needed for now. Let's continue to create other endpoint belong the other queries. Okay, after created, I would like to create my queries. Let's use HTTP get public async task I action result get customer async. So we need a GUID customer ID. Perfect. Let's use a vertical design. Alright, all we need to do is for response await sender dot send create, no, not create, sorry, get customer. Sorry, we forget to add new. And why bracket is here? Put the bracket to the here and enter new get customer query. This is the one we need, and it is asking us a customer ID. We're going to pass the parameter as it is here. Perfect. We have a response now. All we need to do is create response. Perfect. As you can see, our controller are really looks like simple, readable, and manageable. Let's continue with the get all customers. I'm gonna copy everything and put here. I'm gonna give and get all customers, but we forgot to add here our customer ID, by the way. Let me just a second. We need to give customer ID here in curly brackets. Perfect. The customer ID will be located in our address bar. Perfect. So this is the get all customer async. We don't need to send actually nothing. We just all send. We're just going to bring all customers, get all customers query, and it requires nothing if I remember correctly. Add the namespace here and all done. The next one is the command of update customer. So we have a HTTP post for creating new data, and we're going to use HTTP put for. Actually, why we didn't add cancellation token all of them? Let's add the cancellation token as well. Yep. And here, Control KD. Let's pass this cancellation token. All of them. Perfect. Let's continue the update. The update is using HTTP put, guys. If you do part update, you can use HTTP patch. Actually, in our project, we are doing part update, but you can use both put or patch. It doesn't matter. But I'm gonna continue with the put at the moment. And let's continue. It is going to be named update customer async, and as a parameter we need I'm a little bit obsessive with the how they look like. Yeah, perfect. Let's add the update customer DTO, and we all need to do call the command update customer command, and it is asking us a request of DTO. Let's have a look. Let's delete it again. It is asking us update customer DTO, which is given by the parameter here. Perfect. It's all done. And let's create the remove one. HTTP delete. Let me have a look quickly. Do we need any ID? Yeah, we need an ID for here as well, customer ID, and we need to pass with customer ID. This is the cancellation token. We need to send remove customer command, and it is asking us an ID, which is customer ID, cancellation token, and create result response. As you can see, controller is completed very quickly, and it is really readable and looks like really simple. All right, let me have a look. It's been 21 minutes. Let's try to add a couple of data and test if it's working or not, and let's see if there is an error or something. Next lesson we can continue with the controller, or we can continue with the pipeline behavior. I didn't decide it yet. Let's see what's gonna happen. Let's first try the application first. Make sure yourself in your Docker Compose selected and clicked run your project and see our endpoints in our Swagger document, and try to test them all step by step. I'm waiting my application to be built. Containers are being created. As you can see, they all being created. But why I'm having this, I'm gonna delete this one. Oh, it seems alright. I'm waiting to my application to be open. Yep, here we go. No operation defined in spec. This is weird. Where is our endpoints? YouTube apical NETCoreAPI API. This is no operation defined in spec. This is weird. Let me have a look quickly to my. Did we forget something? This is API controller. Everything is done. We are in controller. Let's minimize everything. This is the controller. Yep. Let's have a look. Our program CS file is then a missing part here. Seems all good. I guess our base controller, non-controller, is wrong. Let's delete it and try. Probably it's just defining our customer controller as a non-controller. That's why we're not able to see the endpoints. I'm assuming it's going to be fixed now. Let's see if it's gonna work. I'm waiting. Perfect. All endpoints has been came here. Okay, I'm gonna open my dbeaver as well. See the data in actual DB. I'm waiting my dbeaver to be opened. Come on, you are so slow. While it's opening, let's have a look at our endpoints. So as you can see, it is asking us information. Yeah, perfect. It just came. Connections. What was the name of it? YouTube API. and database YouTube API scheme tables. Perfect. So let's view table. As you can see, let's click the data. This is empty data. Perfect. Let's minimize it and try to use. Okay, let's click try it out. So the title, let's add a customer. Let's say Future Solutions Limited, and the first line address, let's say 105 Old Rock Road. Second line address, let's make it null. I'm gonna delete it. Postcode GH154KJ. Let's say City Berlin. The country is Germany. Perfect. Let's try to execute and see what's gonna happen. Okay, we got a 500 error. Okay, what's the issue is, yeah, I guess we didn't add our mediator in our services. Perfect. As you can see, unable to resolve service for the mediator I sender while attempt to activate your endpoint. Yeah, I guess we forgot to add activate mediator in our services. That's why we're doing testing, by the way. Let's stop the application first. Okay, let's go application assembly, service registration section. So we add automapper, right? So I'm going to add, actually, you know what, I'm going to create another method here. I'm gonna copy paste from my infrastructure. So let's copy this section and paste here. Basically, this is the same thing what I'm going to do. So I'm gonna take this automapper and put the automapper here, and now I'm going to add mediator here as well. Services.add mediator. I think we need to add a configurations, right? Let's say config. Yep, config dot register services from assemblies. Assembly, is that the one? Yeah, I think that's the one. So we need assembly here. So I'm going to put my assembly in a variable var executing application assembly. Let's take this assembly. Perfect. I'm going to put this variable where I would like to need it. Perfect. All done. Now I'm assuming it's going to work. All we need to do is add service the containers. Perfect. Let's minimize it. Let's run the application again and see if it's working. This is my fault. I forgot to add and activate the mediator. Let's try to add our customer one more time. By the way, instead of this, I'm going to use Postman, guys, which is every time I close the browser, I need to type again and again. So I'm just going to use Postman, which is I strongly recommend you. Just sign in. I'm waiting to log in. Yeah, perfect. Let's just create continue with my workspace. Okay, let's create a request. Perfect. The request is going to be, this is our localhost. You know what? This localhost is frustrating and changing all the time. I'm gonna did a changes before starting let's close the application first. Okay, and let's go to Docker Compose. I'm going to show you something different, a different thing. As you can see, if we go our Docker file, we are exposing two endpoints, 8080 and 8081. Let's close this file. By the way, I'm going to stop the application first. Yeah. If I go my Docker Compose YAML file and just have a look at the overriding section, as you can see, we are using 8081 for HTTPS ports, right? So I'm going to use this 8081 to expose my API project. So I'm going to add another place which is called ports. Yeah, and it is going to be, let's say, 501, which is going to be used as, and it is going to be connected to 8081 port. So when I run my application, it is going to use static 5001 port and is connected to 8081, exposed my Docker file. Let's run the application and see the result if it's working now. Now I'm waiting my application to be built. As you can see, this is 5001. Perfect. Now I can confidently use this URL in my, where is the Postman? Is it closed? Yeah. I'm going to open a new window for Postman. Open Postman. Yeah. Perfect. Let's go to my workspace. Now we can create our endpoint. So the endpoint is going to be API slash and the customer, to create a new one, and it's going to be post request. Perfect. And I'm going to copy my credentials from here, and let's select body, select row. This is the place we can send our JSON format files. Perfect. So this is title. Let's type here Future Solutions Ltd, and the first line address is 105 Old Rock Road. The second line, I'm not gonna send the second line address. By the way, we typed wrong second line address. We're going to fix this naming. And the postcode is going to be, let's say, KJ 159OL. Actually, oh no, it's a good 8 HK. City is Berlin. The country is Germany. Alright, let's try to send and see the result. As you can see, we received 404. What is the problem? Did we send the wrong endpoint? Let me have a look. So this is API customers. So we sent customer. Yep. This is the wrong URL. Let's send it again. I'm waiting. As you can see, the data has been created. This is our result. We have a data, ID, title, and this is the address, and this is the balance of customer. Status code is 201. Created is perfect. Error, we don't have any error. It's working very nice, and the result, the outcome is very tidy and clean. Perfect. It's been 34 minutes, guys. Let's test all of them quickly and continue with the next lesson. Okay, so the next one is, I'm gonna create a new tab, and I'm going to use get all method. So this is going to be HTTP get API and customers. If I just click send, it is going to bring me all customers. As you can see, this is the customer list, and with all the data which we defined, and the status code is 200, error is null. Okay, I'm gonna get the specific customer. So actually, let's add one more customer and run this again. Where is my post? Okay, let's say ambitious solutions co-inch. So the address is 95 Street, and let's make it 6KO, and the city is London, the country is the UK. Okay, let's send the data again. Has been created again. Let's get the all results. As you can see, we're receiving the data as a list for all companies, and this is the, so we're going to get a specific customer, right? We're using another slash. We're going to get, for example, let's get the ambitious solutions. Let's copy the ID and paste the ID and send the data using HTTP GATE. As you can see, we received the company data. All we need to do is update and delete. Okay, for updates, we're going to use HTTP put. Perfect. I'm gonna copy everything from here again. We're using the same URL, and let's have a look what kind of body should be sent for put request. Okay, title, address, and the customer ID. So why are we sending the customer ID? This is weird. Okay, title, first and second and port code. This is the customer, right? So why we send? Okay, let me have a look quickly at the code. Why we add customer ID for customer update. Let's go to application, features, customers, commands, update customer, update command handler. So we have customer update request detail. Let's have a look at the update method. As you can see, we are using title and address. We're not using, okay, the customer ID is needed for our, let me have a look. Why are we using customer? Let's go back. Okay, alright, now I understand. Actually we need to use ID in the query string, not in the payload. That's the main problem. So all we need to do is, let's go back our logic now. This is the handler, right? This is the handler. Let me have a look my command. Okay, the command requires GUID customer ID, and let's save it. Now the handler is going to use repository, yeah, is going to use the customer ID comes from directly comes from the command, and we don't need to use this ID anymore. So I'm just going to delete it, but before that, let's see where we used it. Okay, we need to switch this one to customer ID as well. Perfect. So when it came 0, it means it is unnecessary. Are we still using somewhere else? No, this is request. Perfect. Actually, no, but I'm just gonna delete it. It's not updating. Perfect. So we don't need to use ID for update section. Close that one, close that one. all we need to do is now let's go back to customer controller. Where is the post method? Yep, here we go. It is asking us a ID now. So I'm gonna add customer ID, and I'm gonna send this parameter here with customer ID, and I'm gonna use that customer ID to pass here. Perfect. I guess it will be alright. I'm just thinking the previous approach was correct, I guess, but why? Let me have a look again, but the ID must be seen after in here, I guess. Okay, let's see the result first, but before that I'm gonna have a look at the response. How does it look like? So we don't have any response, right? Perfect. Okay, let's run the project. The customer ID, if it's seen on the query string, it's much more best practice, I'm assuming. That's why I add that. You can even add this the payload. The previous wasn't wrong, but I think it's better to using customer ID. Yep. So let's copy everything and let's switch to Postman. So we have put customers and we need an ID. Let's select the same ID and let's go to body row. Let's say this time I'm going to use random things to show the changes much more obvious. Okay, let's send the changes. As you can see, 204, no content. It means it's updated, no problem at all, and we can have a look at the changes now. Alright, let's get all customers. As you can see, the data has been changed. Perfect. The put is working. Now all we need to do is try remove, and we're going to use delete. I'm going to select the same customer, and all we need to do is just click the send. No content again. Let's try to bring all customers. As you can see, the last one is deleted. This is the only customer left in our DB right now. Perfect, guys, it's all working. Our endpoints are working. Mediator and circus pattern perfectly working. Next lesson, I'm not gonna continue with the other controllers. I'm gonna go back to application. I'm gonna build the pipelines, and we can continue with the other endpoints later. Okay, guys, thanks for watching my video. It's been 40 minutes again. My video always being long. Sorry about that. If you crush the like button and if you drop comments below the video, I will be really appreciated, as the YouTube algorithm always looking those kind of informations to bring the videos more visible. See you on next lesson. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.